What is up, Cowboy Nation? Dallas fan 1997 here, guys, and we have breaking news. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan like myself, Javonte Williams has signed a 3-year, $24 million with $16 million guaranteed deal with the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be honest with you, I think this is a good move by the Dallas Cowboys. Javonte Williams was number 9 in the NFL in rushing last year. Honestly, if Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott weren't so pass happy at times, I feel like that Javonte Williams definitely had a chance to be a top 5 running back. You also have to factor in he did not play the last game of the season, and if he would have done his normal average of 71 yards a game, he probably would have finished inside the top 5 to top 6. Well, actually, he would have been 6th, but still, there's a good chance I think Javonte Williams would have been a top 5 running back had Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer not been as pass happy. But I think it's a good deal by the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a fair deal. He's only going to be making around $8 million a year, which would put him right in the middle of the pack when it comes to running back salaries. And I think that's actually a great deal for the Dallas Cowboys. Javonte Williams is one of these guys that didn't take a huge contract like Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb. He took a little bit more reasonable, team-friendly deal. Because Javonte Williams, honestly, had a top 10 season last year as a running back. And honestly, he probably would have been a top 5 guy had he, if the Cowboys ran the ball a little bit more instead of being pass happy. But, the guy finished in the top 10. He's a top 16 running back salary. He actually has the exact same contract as DeAndre Swift of the Chicago Bears. And I think that's a good deal. I think he's good. I think he's just as good, if not better, than DeAndre Swift. And with $8 million a year, that puts him right in the middle of the pack when it comes to running back deals. And right now, he's a top 5, top 10 running back statistically in the NFL. And you got to give the guy some credit. I think he's a good running back. Even if he wasn't a top 5, he's at least a top 10 to top 15, which is about where he's getting paid. So I think it's a really good deal by the Dallas Cowboys. It's one less position that we're going to have to worry about offensively going into next year. I mean, other than the George Pickens fiasco, which I don't even really want to talk about. Honestly, I think if the Cowboys are smart, they would move on. Even though I like George Pickens, I think he's a very talented receiver. I think financially, I don't actually think he's asking for way too much. $30 million, I think, is what he wants, which isn't terrible. But the Cowboys just have way too many needs on the defensive side of the ball for me to, be 100. I'm kind of on the fence with that. If they pay him a team-friendly deal and it doesn't screw us over in the cap, I may be okay with it. But honestly, I'm leaning more towards the idea we should trade him for some draft picks and try and rebuild the defense. But this isn't about him. This is about Javonte Williams. I think it's a good deal by the Dallas Cowboys. He's the 16th highest paid running back in the NFL, which is honestly a team-friendly deal. And I wish more players would do team-friendly deals like this because, Javonte Williams has shown his talent in the past. He's just been hurt the last couple of years, so he hasn't gotten a chance to really show what he can do. He finally got a full chance this year in Dallas and showed that he's still a top 10 running back, and he's getting paid top 16 money, which I think it's a great deal by the Cowboys. I think it's a fair deal. And I like it. I think it's a good deal. Good team-friendly deal. Hopefully he lives up to his contract and he doesn't live down to his contract, He was dealing with some injuries towards the latter half of the season, so I do want to point that out. But, again, he's getting paid the same contract as DeAndre Swift, which I think is more than fair. So, yeah. Glad it got done. Glad it's done. That's all I got to say. Congrats to Javonte. Hope he keeps grinding and he lives up to that contract. I'll catch you all later. Peace.